Hey guys, hope things are going really great. Let's talk about the question of, does your business need SEO? And I know this is a controversial kind of topic, but I just want to add some thoughts to get you thinking. Obviously, as a web agency, we talk to people all the time and they're like, I want to improve, our SEO rankings, which is fine. But what a lot of people don't think about is how SEO actually works. Okay, so the other day we were talking to this guy, and he ran a healthcare business, and he's like, we want to start ranking for these keywords, and the keywords were telehealth, telehealth United States, mental health United States, and I know that he thinks that those are relevant, but for anyone to get significant results with their SEO keywords, you have to dial it down. So, for example, telehealth, this guy, this startup with his business, is competing with the entire world for telehealth, or his entire state, or his entire country. Like, it depends how your SEO person does it, but you want to own specific keywords. Specificity is the key to this. So, for example, mental health provider, this is a terrible example, Vancouver, Canada, telehealth, Vancouver, Canada. Like, you want to dial it in so you are found faster for for these particular keywords. For example, I work in e-commerce. An SEO person told me one time, you can't use keywords like e-commerce or whatever, because if I use terms like that, kind of generic terms, I'm competing against Shopify, against Kajabi, against these humongous brands with these humongous budgets, and they're looking for e-com clients too. So when you're doing SEO, think through, okay, what is a small subset of keywords that you are going to dominate? You got to dial it, get in really specific. And if your business, if you don't want to do that, then just got to kind of accept you're probably never going to rank on page 1 or page 2 against bigger brands that have a bigger budget than you for these particular generic keywords. Or don't do SEO, right? Like, SEO is not, you don't have to do SEO. There's a million marketing strategies out there. SEO is just one of them. And I think a lot of people are trained to think that SEO is like a must have. And where I agree, your site has to be optimized for Google in the sense of your on-page SEO and your technical SEO and things like that. Running an off-page SEO strategy may not be congruent with what your goals are, right? You have to think about it. Is your target market searching for what you do in Google? If so, what are some, again, that smaller subset of keywords that they're going to use that you could rank for that maybe Shopify, or in my case, let's say, isn't using, for example? Or if your client doesn't really look for what you do on Google, then don't worry about it. Find another way, right? So just think it through. You do not have to accept that SEO has to be part of your marketing strategy if it's not relevant to you. If it's not, don't worry about it. Focus that money somewhere else, because SEO is just one tool, right? So take a step back. If you're not sure about SEO, there's tons of courses, like super cheap courses you can take to kind of get the basics, but don't just follow along with what everybody else is doing, because it might not make sense for your particular business, and it might not make sense in your industry, and it might not make sense in your demographic, depending on who your competition is, right? Anyhow, if you have any questions, drop a comment below. SEO, I know, is very confusing. It's constantly changing. A lot of people just sort of assume it should be part of their marketing repertoire. May not be, maybe, may not be. But again, don't follow blindly and assume that you need it and that it's the best idea for your business. I'll talk to you soon.